Welcome to StoryTime, Lesoul's Adventure, Episode 5. As Tom and Lesoul stepped from the shuttle onto the dirt path, they both felt the inner hum of a deep resonance with the circle of the stones ahead. Stonehenge was speaking directly to them, building their footsteps toward a profound connection, not just within themselves, but also Mother Earth and the cosmos through the stones themselves. With each step, the world around them seemed to fade slightly, as if Stonehenge itself were drawing them into its own dimension, a realm where time blurred and the presence aligned supreme, or reigned supreme, rather. The voices of other visitors receded into the background hum of the day, and the soft breeze rustling through the grass shifted into a subtle rhythmic pulse they could feel in their very selves. As they walked quietly, hand in hand, neither wanted to break the spell forming between them and this ancient place. Lesoul noticed the light was different here, clear, almost crystalline. Tom felt it too, an amplification of senses. The stones stood tall and patient against the sky, as they had for millennia. But now they seemed alive, their surfaces vibrating gently with a language older than words. As they approached the circle's edge, an undeniable invitation strummed through their bodies. Come closer, remember, unite. Lesoul took a slow, deep breath, recognizing that these stones were far more than relics. They were energetic keys, resonant tuning forks, bridging earth and sky, matter and spirit. Tom, for his part, felt layers of his own heart opening, as if the land and the cosmos were whispering reassurances that he was exactly where he needed to be, in the company of someone who truly understood. They paused a few paces from the stones, letting their awareness expand. Both of them sensed presences all around, ancient guardians, ancestral echoes, star beings who had watched over this portal of energy for countless lifetimes. It was as though they were stepping into a grand theater of consciousness where each stone was both actor and stage. Exchanging a glance, they didn't need words to confirm what they felt. Stonehenge was speaking through silence, guiding them to tune into a deeper frequency. Here, under the same sky that cradled their ancestors, they were about to engage in a profound communion with Earth's ancient memory and the cosmic streams of light that had shaped humanity's existence. They stepped forward together, hearts open, ready to be shown what it meant to truly align with the wisdom of the ages. This was a threshold. Beyond it lay an initiation into their own multidimensional nature, where timelines converged, truths surfaced, and the dance of unity played out in the quiet embrace of towering stones. As Lesoul held Tom's hand, she felt the flow of the stones, and the energy began rising up her legs and out her crown chakra. At the same time, she felt energy flowing into her heart and higher heart chakra, bringing it in with so much emotion and memories flooding into her awareness. Lesoul closed her eyes, welcoming the shimmering currents of energy flowing through her body. The earth beneath their feet pulsed with a gentle ancient rhythm, and she could feel its hum, first as a vibration in her ankles and then her calves, then rising steadily through her spine. It swept upward, out through her crown chakra like a fountain of light, connecting her to the vast expanses of the stars overhead. Simultaneously, streams of warmth poured into her heart and higher heart chakra, filling these energy centers with a profound resonant love. She squeezed Tom's hand, grateful he was there to witness and share this moment with her. Inner sight, she glimpsed layers of memories emerging, lifetimes lived in different times and places, some familiar, some obscure. She saw herself in simple robes, placing hands on the stones as the night skies danced with constellations long forgotten. She caught flashes of other worlds and distant civilizations, feeling a resonance that spanned millennia. Tears welled up in her eyes. These were tears not just of joy or sadness, but of deep recognition. She now remembered her soul had walked here before. She had knelt in prayer, sung in ritual, stood under the moonlight, and listened to the stones sing back. She had known this place intimately, in forms and bodies that had faded from history's pages, but not from her soul's tapestry. Tom's presence stabilized her, his energy a comforting anchor. She could feel his heart beating in sync with hers, as if guided by the same cosmic metronome. There was no need for words. He felt it too, the gravity of remembrance, the sense that they were reactivating something dormant within themselves and the site itself. Within the center of her chest, the higher heart chakra expanded. It was like a budding blossom into a radiant rose of iridescent light, each petal revealing another level of understanding. She sensed that this activation was not only personal, it was a gift meant to be carried forward. The stones, the earth, and the cosmos were merging their energies, pouring ancient wisdom through her and into him, weaving their fields together so they could share it with others. Lesoul inhaled slowly, letting the current settle into her cells, anchoring in this timeless knowing. She and Tom were here to remember that humanity was never alone, always held by the earth, always guided by the stars, always supported by the guardians who watched from beyond the veil. She opened her eyes, meeting Tom's gaze. In his eyes, she saw the same recognition, the same awe, and the same silent promise to hold this wisdom close, to nurture it, and to bring it forward into a world that was ready to remember too. Lesoul began to see with her inner vision the light beings all around them who were not only witnessing this ancient ceremony, but also sending energy to both Tom and Lesoul. As her eyes remained closed, softly closed, Lesoul's inner vision brightened, revealing forms of light that shimmered on the edges of perception. At first, she saw only faint outlines, soft, radiant silhouettes flicking in and out. But as she relaxed further, trusting in what she sensed, the images sharpened. They were not human, not in the way of flesh and bone appeared. These were beings of light, luminous and multidimensional. Their presence felt ancient and benevolent, as if they had attended countless ceremonies like this one, overseeing the transfer of wisdom and frequency across the ages. Some stood tall and slender, their features indistinct, but their light full of warmth and purpose. Others hovered like gentle spheres of softly pulsing columns of color. Each emanated a unique signature, a tone, a hue, a pattern of radiance that Lesoul could feel resonating in her own energy field. She could sense their delight, an almost celebratory quality, as what was unfolding, at what was unfolding. They were witnesses, yes, but also participants in a subtle dance of creation, of co-creation. Lesoul felt currents of light and information streaming from these beings to her and Tom, as if they were weaving threads of remembrance and activation into the couple's energy fields. Their luminous eyes, and if eyes they had, seemed to sparkle with recognition. They knew both her and Tom intimately, soul deep, beyond the confines of any one lifetime. In that shared silence, Lesoul felt no need for words. She understood that these beings were caretakers of this vortex of earth and star energy, each one living a living repository of wisdom. They had seen civilizations rise and fall, and had guided seekers through the countless eras, and now they had come forward, responding to the call in her heart and Tom's heart. Together, as two souls daring to remember, they had summoned these luminous allies. She sensed a gentle flow of encouragement coming through, messages without language, yet perfectly clear. You are seen, you are safe, you are supported. Take these gifts and share them, for you are both the bridge builders between worlds. Lesoul's heart swelled with gratitude. She instinctively squeezed Tom's hand, letting him know she was okay and that she was filled with awe and reverence. She knew he too, maybe not in the same exact way, but he was tuned in, his presence steady and calm, their joined energies creating a channel through which these blessings could flow. With the stones standing watch, the earth hummed beneath their feet. An ancient starlight streaming in, Lesoul understood that a profound initiation was taking place. They were not just visiting Stonehenge, they were becoming a part of its ongoing story, infused now with the wisdom of luminous beings who stood ready to help them share that light with the world. As Lesoul and Tom held hands, a powerful surge of golden energy came down from the great central sun down through their crown chakras, igniting the DNA within their cells that contain the superconsciousness God seed awareness. As this was occurring simultaneously, a huge stream of golden energy was streaming down through the center of Stonehenge. This created a vortex, a portal that was allowing their new atomic structures within their cells to newly reform their light bodies. In that moment, time and space felt fluid and malleable. Standing there, hands entwined, Lesoul and Tom became conduits of a vast, universal intelligence. They could feel it, this golden energy, pure and radiant, descending like a beam of divine grace through their crowns and into every fiber of their being. They inhaled slowly, hearts thrumming in unison, as the golden light permeated the deepest layers of their cells. Within their DNA, codes long dormant began to spark and awaken. These were not simple biological instructions, but crystalline keys to greater awareness, superconscious seeds, God seeds that contained the blueprint for an evolved human experience. They held the ancient knowledge, universal love, and infinite potential. Lesoul sensed the unfolding as a magnificent remembering, while Tom felt it as the quiet unveiling of truth he had always somehow known, yet could never fully articulate until now. At the same instant, Stonehenge responded. A powerful column of shimmering golden light poured down through the center of the stone circle, aligning perfectly with the cosmic energies entering their crowns. The stones themselves seemed to hum, their silent language resonating in the surrounding fields, turning the very ground beneath them into a sacred altar. The energy from above and the energy at Stonehenge's heart intermingled, merging into a vortex of transformative potential. This vortex, a gateway between dimensions and timelines, amplified the healing and activation underway. The particles of their physical and energetic bodies began reorganizing themselves at a quantum level. It was as if their cells were singing, adjusting their structure to hold more light, to carry more information, to resonate at a frequency that transcended ordinary human limitation. Within the swirling glow, Lesoul and Tom's light bodies took on a new brilliance, becoming more coherent and refined. The old patterns, limitations, and densities dissolved gently, lovingly, replaced by templates of unity, compassion, and expanded perception. They were becoming luminous beings in human form, anchors of the divine intelligence, rooted into the earth, yet open to the cosmos. All around them, the luminous guardians watched with benevolent approval, their silent blessing carried on subtle currents of light. The land, the stones, the sky, and the distant stars bore witness to this profound initiation. In the quiet afterglow of the energy's arrival and integration, neither Lesoul nor Tom needed words. They felt it in their intertwined fingers, in the shared rhythm of their breath, in the gentle pulsing of their newly awakened cells. They were changed now, forever touched by golden flame of their true potential, and they knew that as they stepped forward from Stonehenge, they would carry this light within them, radiating it outward to the world. As Tom and Lesoul stood for what seemed like an hour, soaking in the energies, they were feeling grateful to the guardians and Stonehenge for allowing them to receive this gift today from the sentient consciousness that embodies the stones. This was a sacred gift, a monumental proportion, and Lesoul and Tom felt the weight of responsibility sharing these gifts with humanity. As the surge of energy slowly settled, the ambient hum around them softened into a gentle, loving pulse. The light beings, guardians, and cosmic presences began to step back, just enough so that Tom and Lesoul could feel themselves embodied, fully embodied, and present in their human forms again. The towering stones remained, as they always had, silent, steadfast witnesses. But now Lesoul and Tom understood them on a far deeper level. They had touched the sentient heart of Stonehenge and began to welcome it into their inner sanctum. Their breathing was slow and measured, their bodies tingling with the memory of golden currents still coursing through their veins. The timeless quality of this experience had dissolved any sense of hurry. It may have been minutes or hours, but clock time held no meaning here. They were at a pace fully integrated in a moment. Lesoul turned to Tom, gratitude shining in her tear-brimmed eyes. She squeezed his hand, and he responded in kind with a gentle smile curving at the edge of his mouth. They both knew they had been entrusted with something profound, an infusion of cosmic wisdom, a blueprint for humanity's evolution, coded now within their very cells. The weight of this gift, both humbling and exhilarating, carried with it a responsibility to serve as conduits of a higher consciousness, to share the essence of love and unity they had received. They were not meant to hoard this knowledge. It was to be lived, expressed, and transmitted through kind words, inspirational actions, compassionate teachings, and whatever expressions their souls felt called to offer. Lesoul took a quiet breath, her voice a soft whisper that Tom could hear clearly in the silence around them. "We will share this," she said, her voice trembling slightly with emotion. "We'll help others remember their own divinity and interconnectedness." Tom nodded, his heart full. "Yes, we'll bring this home, carry it with us. Our work, our words, our very presence can help anchor these frequencies for others." They knew they would not walk this path alone. Countless souls across the earth were awakening, each doing their part to lift the collective. Their meeting, their journey to Stonehenge, and this initiation had happened by divine design, placing them gently within the grand tapestry of humanity's ascension. As they finally stepped away from the circle, neither had looked back in longing, for Stonehenge would live within them now. They departed with gratitude, reverence, and a quiet resolve to honor the trust placed in them. And as they walked away, hand in hand, they carried the seeds of transformation that would one day blossom into new understandings, deeper compassion, and the radiant unfolding of consciousness for all. In deep reflection, Tom and Lesoul stepped back onto the small shuttle that would connect to the parking area. They were deeply into the integration process. As they held hands, words were unnecessary. They arrived at the car, and the driver, who spotted them already, had stepped out warmly to greet them while he held the door open, allowing them into the back seat. As they settled into the back seat and drank some much-needed water, Tom asked the driver for the basket he had prepared for the afternoon tea. The driver opened the boot and walked around to retrieve the afternoon tea that Tom had prepared. And as Tom and Lesoul were settled back into the plush seat of the car, they could still feel the subtle hum of the energies they absorbed. Their bodies felt both weightless and utterly present, the tingling residue of the ancient wisdom pulsing just beneath the surface of their skin. The water tasted especially good, as if the simple act of drinking were an acknowledgement of their return to the physical world. Tom exchanged a knowing glance with Lesoul. No words were necessary. And the driver who came around handed the basket to Tom through the open car door. Tom thanked him quietly. He set the basket on the seat between himself and Lesoul, both of them appreciating the comforting normalcy of this ritual after their extraordinary encounter. The scent of fresh baked goods and the warmth of tea contained within the insulated flask all felt grounding, helping them to anchor it into the here and now. Lesoul drew a breath, savoring the simple human pleasure of this treat. The elegance and care Tom had taken to arrange it touched her heart. They might carry universal codes in their cells now, but they were still human, still able to delight in a moment as ordinary, as lovely as afternoon tea. This, she realized, was the balance of their existence, the cosmic and the commonplace, the infinite and the intimate. Tom met her eyes, smiling softly. She returned his smile, grateful for the basket, for him, for everything that had brought them to this moment. And as the car started its gentle drive back, they eased into the quiet enjoyment of their tea, each sip and taste a quiet celebration of life's fragile, exquisite beauty. Tom realized he had to make plans for tomorrow, since he wanted to spend more time with Lesoul and was not ready to part company now or maybe never. They were on the outskirts of London, so he was going to be utterly bold and ask her to travel to his home in Scotland. As the car gently glided along the country roads, the afternoon light softly bathing the rolling hills and fields, Tom let his gaze settle on Lesoul's profile. She was sipping her tea, her expression contemplative yet serene, the soft glow of sun dancing in her eyes. He couldn't deny that something profound had happened between them today, both in their shared mystical experience and in the quiet human moments that followed. He felt a boldness rising within him, fueled not by impulse, but by the unmistakable sense of alignment they seemed to share. And in the wake of their Stonehenge initiation, everything ordinary now shimmered with an extraordinary potential. The idea of parting ways soon felt unthinkable. He wanted more time to understand this connection, time to learn from her, laugh with her, and continue exploring not only the sacred sites of the world, but the sacred space between them. It was this thought that made him clear his throat softly. He reached over and gently placed his hand atop hers. When she turned to gaze at him, he took a breath, steadying himself. "Lesoul," he said quietly, voice earnest. "I know we've only just begun to discover this connection, but I'm not ready to say goodbye. Not yet. I'd like to invite you to come with me to Scotland. My home is just outside Edinburgh. We have fields and a farm and a world that moves at a gentler pace. We can integrate all we've experienced and, well, just spend more time together." He paused, searching her eyes for a sign. "I understand if you have other plans or if you need time, but I want you to know how much this day has meant, how much you've come to mean. If you'd be open to it, I'd be honored to host you, to show you the life I've built there, and to continue this journey in whatever way feels right." The car's low hum filled the pause. the landscapes passing quietly outside. He waited, heart full yet uncertain, knowing that whatever her answer, he would cherish every moment they've already shared. Lesoul's heart leapt out of her chest, and her stomach did somersaults as Tom finished his invitation. She was overwhelmed deeply, in over her head, and probably already in love with him. She gazed at his eyes lovingly as she said, I can't think of anywhere else I'd rather be than with you, Tom, whatever we do. As Lesoul spoke these words, Tom felt all the tension and uncertainty in his chest dissolve at once. His eyes, reflecting both tenderness and quiet assurance, told him everything he needed to know. He took her hand in both of his, smiling like a man who'd stumbled into a treasure he never knew he'd been searching for. For a moment, the world outside the car windows, fields, hills, the winding roads receded into softness. The hum of the engine became a gentle lullaby, the driver a silent ally to their unfolding story. This was their own private universe, a chrysalis of trust and understanding forming around them. Tom leaned in just slightly, not to break the delicate spell, but to show her that he understood the depth of her emotions. Thank you, he said quietly, sincerely, for trusting me with your time, your presence. I know this is new, big, and a bit overwhelming. It is for me too. But I feel that with you, I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. His thumb stroked the back of her hand softly, reassuringly. Lesoul blushed faintly, her heart still fluttering like a butterfly set free. They smiled at each other, sharing a look that contained 1,000 unspoken promises. Neither one felt the need to fill the silence with words. The moment spoke volumes on its own. Soon enough, the driver would guide them back to their hotel, and life's logistics would gently tap at the door, arranging tickets, packing a small bag, journeying by train or plane to Scotland. But for now, all that mattered was the warmth of their joined hands and the quiet certainty that they had chosen to walk this path together, one step at a time, come what may. I hope you enjoyed the 5th episode of Lesoul's adventure in StoryTime. And please feel free to leave a comment under this video and let us know how you enjoyed it. And I'm hoping to complete episode 6 either tomorrow or the next day. And I really thank you for enjoying this. It's been a pleasure to create these stories for you. And I hope you're actually asleep already. So, nighty night.